Last time on Heartland Ridge Ranch, we met the Ridge family. Wyatt and Charlie, the heart of the ranch. Mason Ridge, the hardworking oldest son with a gift for music. And Abigail, the girl from Willow Creek who heard him singing before she ever knew his name. As Mason struggled with the weight of one day leading Heartland Ridge, Abby helped him realize something life-changing. He didn't need to become his father. He needed to become himself. Now, a new cowboy is about to arrive at Heartland Ridge, and he's about to shake up the ranch. The cowboy. She refused to trust. Chapter 1. Trouble in a cowboy hat. The first thing Sadie Ridge noticed was the truck. The second thing she noticed was the hat. The third thing she noticed was the smile. She stood on the porch railing at Heartland Ridge Ranch with Bo beside her, both staring as a dusty black pickup rolled slowly into the ranch yard. Sadie narrowed her eyes. New guy. Bo adjusted his oversized cowboy hat. He got a cool truck. Sadie crossed her arms. I'm investigating. Ellie, standing behind them with a basket of laundry, sighed. You are not investigating. Sadie looked offended. Yes, I am. No, you're spying. Sadie considered that. That too. The truck stopped near the main barn. A man stepped out, tall, athletic, mid-20s, boots dusty from the road, cowboy hat pulled low, and an easy confidence that suggested he'd spent most of his life outdoors. He removed his sunglasses and took in the ranch. Massive red barns, miles of pasture, black Angus cattle grazing under the morning sun, horse corrals, fence lines stretching toward distant mountains. His expression shifted. Impressed? Good, most people were. Wyatt Ridge approached first. Strong handshake, direct eye contact. The kind of greeting that said everything important in 5 seconds. Tyler James? The man nodded. Yes, sir. Wyatt liked that. I'm Wyatt Ridge. Tyler shook his hand firmly. Appreciate the opportunity. Wyatt studied him. He'd read the references. Excellent horseman, good with cattle, reliable worker. But references only told part of the story. Character had to be seen. We start early, Wyatt said. Tyler smiled. So do I. Good answer. Nearby, Charlie watched from the porch. Caleb stood beside Wyatt with arms crossed, always observing, always reading people. Caleb spoke quietly. What do you think? Wyatt watched Tyler unload his gear. Too early. Caleb nodded, but he noticed something. Tyler didn't carry himself like someone trying to impress. He moved like a man used to hard work. That mattered. A lot. Then Tyler heard it. A sharp whistle, he turned. A horse stood inside the training corral. Jet black, powerful, alert, watching him. The animal pawed the dirt. Tyler's eyebrows lifted. Well now. Caleb noticed immediately. Don't. Tyler glanced over. Don't what? Caleb nodded toward the horse. That. Tyler smiled. I'm just looking. That horse throws professionals. Tyler looked back toward the animal. Interesting. Inside the corral stood Hannah Cooper, the head horse trainer. 29, confident, focused, completely unimpressed. She ran a hand down the stallion's neck without taking her eyes off Tyler. Well, she called out, either get to work or stop staring. Tyler smiled. So that's Hannah. Caleb exhaled slowly. Yep. Tyler adjusted his hat. She seems friendly. Caleb gave him a look. She isn't. An hour later, Tyler had helped unload feed, move tack, and impressed 3 ranch hands. Then he made a mistake. A charming mistake. He wandered toward Hannah's corral. She was adjusting a saddle on the black stallion. Tyler rested an arm on the fence. That the famous problem horse? Hannah didn't look up. He has a name. Tyler smiled. Oh, Midnight? Tyler nodded. Beautiful animal. He is. You train him? I do. Tyler studied the horse. Mind if I say hello? Now Hannah looked at him. Finally, cold, calm, measuring. Do you normally introduce yourself to animals you don't know? Tyler grinned. Only the good-looking ones. No smile, not even a little. Hannah tightened the saddle. Original. Tyler chuckled. Okay, so she had walls, big ones. Interesting. Minutes later, against Caleb's better judgment, Tyler stepped into the corral. Midnight's ears twitched. Tyler approached slowly, easy posture, gentle hands, confident. The horse allowed him closer. Tyler smiled. See? He likes me. Hannah crossed her arms. No. Tyler reached for the reins. That was when Midnight exploded. One violent movement, a sharp rear. Tyler lost balance, and half a second later, hit the dirt hard. Dust flew. Silence. Complete silence. Then Bo screamed from the fence. He died! Ellie covered Bo's mouth. Sadie gasped dramatically. Oh, no. Tyler groaned and rolled onto his back. Alive. Embarrassed. Definitely alive. He looked up. Hannah stood over him. Expression unreadable. Tyler winced. Well... Hannah raised one eyebrow. Then, without the slightest trace of sympathy, she said, Horse has good instincts. Silence. Then Charlie laughed. Then Caleb, then Wyatt, then the entire crew. Even Ellie smiled. Sadie fell against the fence laughing. Tyler stared up at Hannah, and despite the bruised pride, he started laughing too, because for the first time in months, something felt real. And something told him one thing. Heartland Ridge Ranch was about to become very interesting. Chapter 2, Horse has good instincts. By lunchtime, everyone at Heartland Ridge had heard about Tyler James getting thrown by Midnight. Everyone. That included ranch hands, Charlie, the kids, and unfortunately for Tyler, Sadie Ridge. Sadie treated the story like local legend. She sat at the kitchen island swinging her legs while Charlie prepared sandwiches. So then, Sadie said dramatically, Midnight flew into the air like a dragon. Ellie sighed. Horses don't fly. Sadie ignored her. And Tyler went whoosh through the sky. Bo raised both hands. He died. Charlie smiled. He did not die. Bo frowned. He looked dead. Ellie pinched the bridge of her nose. Charlie laughed softly. This was going to be a long story. Outside, Tyler loaded hay bales into the feed truck. His shoulder ached. His pride hurt worse. Caleb walked up carrying rope. You sore, Tyler grunted. A little. Caleb nodded. Good. Tyler looked over. Good? Caleb's expression didn't change. Humility builds character. Tyler shook his head. You're enjoying this. Caleb adjusted the rope on his shoulder. Immensely, Tyler laughed. That was the thing about Heartland Ridge. Nobody babied you, but nobody left you hanging either. The crew teased, then they helped. That felt healthy. Better than where he'd come from. Much better. Later that afternoon, Tyler found Hannah near the training barn brushing Midnight. He stopped a safe distance away. A very safe distance. Hannah noticed him immediately. You lost? Tyler folded his arms. No. Then why are you here? He smiled. I came to thank Midnight. That got a reaction. Not much. Just a tiny pause. Progress? For what? Tyler adjusted his hat. For teaching me a valuable lesson. Hannah returned to brushing the horse. Oh? Tyler nodded seriously. Never flirt with a woman while standing too close to her horse. A tiny smile threatened at the corner of Hannah's mouth. Then vanished. Tyler saw it. Victory. Small victory. Still victory. Midnight snorted softly. Tyler studied the stallion. He trusts many people? Hannah's tone shifted slightly. No. Tyler noticed. The sarcasm faded whenever she talked about horses. Interesting. Why not? Hannah ran a hand down Midnight's neck. He was mishandled before we got him. Tyler's expression softened. Abused. Hannah nodded once. He learned people weren't safe. The words hit Tyler harder than expected, because he understood that, more than he wanted to admit. He looked at Midnight again. The horse watched everything, ready, guarded, strong, suspicious. Tyler exhaled slowly. Sounds familiar. Hannah looked at him. Really looked this time, not dismissive, curious. What does that mean? Tyler smiled, but it didn't quite reach his eyes. Means I understand trust issues. Silence settled between them, different this time, less combative, more honest. Hannah leaned the brush against the stall door. Most men talk too much. Tyler raised an eyebrow. That an insult? It's an observation, he smiled. Fair. She crossed her arms. You joke a lot. There it was. Not a statement, a question disguised as one. Tyler noticed. I do. Why? Straight to the point. No softness, no games, just truth. Tyler stared past her toward the pasture, because answering honestly felt dangerous. Finally, he said quietly, because sometimes if people are laughing... He paused. They stop asking questions. The air changed. Hannah said nothing, but something in her expression shifted. The walls were still there, very much there, but maybe one brick had moved. Just one. A loud voice shattered the moment. Tyler! Both turned. Sadie sprinted toward them. Bo thundered behind her. Ellie followed at a more reasonable pace. Sadie stopped in front of Tyler, hands on hips, business mode. We have questions. Tyler blinked. About what? Sadie pointed dramatically toward Midnight. Did getting thrown hurt? Tyler considered this. Yes. Bo nodded. I knew it. Sadie squinted. Are you scared of Hannah? Tyler coughed. Hannah nearly choked. Ellie's eyes widened. Sadie. What? You can't ask that. Sadie frowned. Why not? Ellie opened her mouth, then closed it. Good question. Tyler slowly smiled. He glanced at Hannah, then back at Sadie. Yes, Sadie gasped. Bo whispered, me too. For the first time, Hannah laughed. Not a smirk. Not almost. An actual laugh. Warm, unexpected, beautiful. Tyler froze, because suddenly the hardest woman on the ranch looked completely different. And one thought hit him immediately. This was getting dangerous. Chapter 3. More than a smile. Tyler spent the next week proving something. Not to Wyatt, not to Caleb, not even to the crew. To Hannah. He showed up early, worked hard, said little, complained never. By Wednesday, he had helped mend fence, assisted with vaccinations, hauled feed, repaired a broken trailer gate, and worked cattle from sunrise to dusk. No shortcuts, no excuses, just work. Caleb noticed. So did Wyatt. You were right, Wyatt said quietly as they watched Tyler unload hay. Caleb crossed his arms. About what? Wyatt gave a small smile. He's not just charm. Caleb nodded once. No. They watched Tyler laugh as Bo tried and failed to carry a feed bucket twice his size. Tyler crouched beside him. Need help, partner? Bo frowned. I got it. Tyler studied the tiny bucket. No doubt. Bo narrowed his eyes. Maybe a little help. Tyler grinned. Now we're talking. Wyatt smiled. That mattered. Kids always knew who was safe, and Bo liked Tyler a lot. Hannah noticed something else. The horses liked him. That bothered her. Not because she disliked Tyler, at least, not exactly. It bothered her because horses rarely lied, and every day more evidence chipped away at the version of Tyler she'd built in her head. The flirt, the charmer, the unserious cowboy. That version was getting harder to defend, especially when she caught him alone. Late Thursday afternoon, Hannah entered the training barn and stopped. Tyler stood inside Midnight's stall. Still, quiet. One hand gently resting near the stallion's shoulder. No reins, no pressure, no force. Midnight stood calm, relaxed, trusting. Hannah stared. Impossible. Midnight trusted almost no one. Yet here, Tyler stood like he'd been part of the horse's life for years. Tyler noticed her in the doorway. He slowly stepped back so he wouldn't startle the horse. Hannah crossed her arms. "How did you do that?" Tyler shrugged. "I listened." That answer annoyed her, mostly because it sounded true. "To what?" Tyler glanced toward Midnight. "What he needed." Hannah studied him. The stallion lowered his head beside Tyler's shoulder. Comfortable, safe. She couldn't deny what she was seeing. Midnight trusted him, which meant something. Something important. "You're good," Hannah said finally. Tyler raised an eyebrow. "With horses?" "With this." He smiled. That almost sounded like a compliment. It wasn't. He laughed. There it was again, that easy laugh. And yet, today she noticed something new. He smiled often, but his eyes didn't always follow. Sometimes something heavier lived behind the charm. She had seen it before, in people carrying pain. "You hide a lot behind that smile." The words left her before she could stop them. Tyler's grin faded, not fully, just enough. For several seconds, silence filled the barn. Hannah almost regretted asking. Almost. Then Tyler surprised her. "My brother trusted the wrong people." Hannah stayed quiet. Tyler stared at the wooden stall door. "He went into business with friends." His jaw tightened. "They stole everything." The easy humor was gone now, replaced by something raw. "He lost the company." Hannah listened. Tyler swallowed. "Lost his marriage, too." That explained something. Maybe a lot. Tyler exhaled slowly. "I spent a year trying to help him keep everything together." His voice lowered. When it finally collapsed, he gave a bitter laugh. "I got pretty good at pretending things were fine." Hannah felt something inside her shift because suddenly his jokes made sense. The charm, the deflection, the humor, armor, not shallowness, protection. Tyler looked at her. "Your turn." Hannah frowned. "My turn?" He nodded. "You don't trust Easy." That wasn't a question. Hannah looked away. The barn felt smaller suddenly. More honest. Dangerous. Finally she answered. "I trusted someone once." Tyler said nothing. Good, she hated interruptions. He lied. Simple, sharp, true. Hannah ran a hand through Midnight's mane. "I ignored warning signs." Tyler's voice softened. "That doesn't make you foolish." She laughed once. "No? No." He stepped closer. Not too close, just enough. "It makes you human." The words landed hard. Because no one had said that before. Not like that. Not without pity. A crash shattered the moment. Both turned. Bo sat on the ground near a spilled bucket. Feed everywhere. Complete silence. Bo looked up. Tiny cowboy hat crooked sideways. He blinked. "I fell." Tyler burst out laughing. Hannah tried not to. Failed. Completely. Bo pointed at both of them. "You're both smiling." Tyler helped him up. "That's observant." Bo narrowed his eyes. Then said the last thing either of them expected. "Mama says when people smile like that, it means they like each other." Silence. Total silence. Tyler froze. Hannah froze. Bo adjusted his hat, then nodded to himself. "Yep," and walked away, leaving devastation behind. Tyler slowly looked at Hannah. Hannah stared straight ahead, then muttered, "I liked him better when he couldn't talk." Tyler laughed, and despite every wall she had built, Hannah smiled. A real one, and that scared her far more than Tyler ever had. Chapter 4. The Storm Ride. The storm rolled in fast. By late afternoon, dark clouds swallowed the Wyoming sky and cold winds swept across Heartland Ridge Ranch. Wyatt stood near the barn watching the horizon. Caleb joined him. "Think it'll hit hard?" Wyatt's eyes stayed on the approaching storm. "Hard enough?" That was all Caleb needed. Within minutes, the ranch shifted into motion. Feed secured, equipment covered, horses checked, crew moving with practiced urgency. Everyone at Heartland Ridge knew the routine. Storms didn't care whether you were ready, so you got ready. Fast. Tyler had just finished securing tack when Hannah came running from the west paddock. For once, she looked rattled. Not scared, but concerned. And that immediately got his attention. What happened? Hannah stopped in front of Wyatt. Scout's gone. Every ranch hand froze. Scout was a young gelding Hannah had been rehabilitating for months. Skittish, easily spooked, still learning trust. Wyatt's expression sharpened. When? Gate latch broke in the wind. Hannah's jaw tightened. He bolted toward North Pasture. Caleb swore quietly. If Scout panicked in a storm, things could go bad quickly. Tyler stepped forward. I'll go. Hannah immediately said, I'm coming. Tyler turned. Hannah. No. Her voice was firm. He trusts me. Tyler studied her face, determined, resolved. There would be no talking her out of this. Wyatt made the call. You two go together? Caleb nodded. Radio every 15 minutes. Tyler grabbed his coat. Yes, sir. Rain began just as they rode out. Cold drops quickly turned into sheets of water. Wind whipped across the pasture. Branches bent. Thunder rolled in the distance. Tyler kept his horse close to Hannah's. Visibility worsened by the minute. You see tracks? Hannah scanned the mud. Nothing yet. Lightning flashed. For a brief second, the pasture lit up bright as day. Then darkness returned. Tyler looked at Hannah. Even now, even in the storm, she rode with calm precision. Focused, steady, strong, no wasted movement. He admired that, more than he wanted to admit. They searched for nearly 20 minutes. Nothing. No horse, no tracks, no movement. Hannah's breathing grew tighter. Tyler noticed. He'll be okay. She didn't answer. That worried him. Finally, she spoke. He was abused before we got him. Her voice was almost lost in the wind. Tyler leaned closer. What? Hannah gripped the reins harder. He panics when he feels trapped. The admission carried more emotion than the words themselves. Tyler understood. This wasn't just about losing a horse. Scout mattered to her. Deeply. Another lightning flash. Then, movement near the tree line. Hannah saw it first. There! Scout, half hidden near a cluster of brush, trembling, wild-eyed. Tyler moved to dismount. Hannah grabbed his arm. No. He looked at her. He's scared. She swallowed. If we push too hard, he runs. Tyler nodded. Okay. Hannah slowly dismounted. Rain soaked her jacket instantly. She stepped forward carefully, softly, patient. Scout. Her voice changed. Gone was the guarded woman with sharp edges. This voice was warm, gentle, safe. Tyler watched in silence. The horse trembled, but didn't bolt. Hannah moved closer, closer. Then Scout suddenly jerked sideways. His hoof slipped in mud. Hannah lost footing. She cried out. Tyler moved instantly. He jumped down and caught her before she hit the ground. His arms wrapped around her, strong, steady, protective. For a moment, neither moved. Rain poured around them. Thunder rolled overhead. But suddenly neither noticed. Because Hannah was in his arms. And she was shaking. Not from cold. From adrenaline. From fear. Tyler looked down at her. Hannah. She looked up. Close. Much too close. He could see raindrops on her lashes. The storm disappeared. The world narrowed. Just them. Just this. And then Hannah whispered something that changed everything. I wasn't scared for the horse. Tyler frowned slightly. No? Her voice trembled. Not with fear, with honesty. I was scared for you. Silence. Complete silence. Even with thunder. Because Tyler stopped breathing. He stared at her, trying to understand what she had just said. And realizing She meant every word. Chapter 5. What he never said. For several seconds, Tyler forgot about the storm, forgot about the rain, forgot about everything except the woman in his arms. Hannah looked up at him, breathing unevenly. She had said it. She had actually said it. I was scared for you. Tyler's voice came low and quiet. Hannah. The moment stretched, then Scout snorted nearby, breaking the spell. Reality rushed back. Tyler slowly released her. Not because he wanted to, because he had to. Hannah stepped back first. Her cheeks flushed despite the cold rain. She looked away. We should get Scout home. Tyler nodded. Yeah. But everything had changed. They both knew it. The ride back to Heartland Ridge felt very different. Scout followed calmly behind them. The storm began easing. Rain softened. Thunder moved farther into the mountains. Yet silence rode between them, not awkward, heavy, full of unspoken things. Finally, Tyler spoke. Why? Hannah looked over. Why what? Why were you scared for me? She exhaled slowly. Of course he would ask. Of course he wouldn't let her hide behind silence, because Tyler James had a frustrating habit of seeing straight through people. She kept her eyes ahead. Because losing things hurts? Tyler said nothing, so she continued. When Scout was panicking, her voice tightened. I realized I wasn't afraid of him running. She swallowed. I was afraid something would happen to you. The honesty felt terrifying. Tyler's voice softened. Hannah. She shook her head. No. Not yet. If she stopped now, she'd retreat. She knew herself. So she kept going. I spent a long time convincing myself distance was safe. Wind moved through the grass. I thought if I kept walls up. She gave a humorless laugh. Nobody could disappoint me again. Tyler watched her carefully. And Hannah finally looked at him. Her eyes were vulnerable in a way he'd never seen. And then you showed up. Silence. His heart kicked hard. Back at the ranch, most of the crew had returned inside. Lights glowed warmly from the barn and house. Wyatt stood waiting under the overhang. Relief crossed his face when he saw Scout. Charlie stood beside him with blankets. Ellie, Sadie, and Bo waited behind them. Sadie squinted. Something in her expression changed immediately. She noticed. Of course she noticed. Tyler barely had time to dismount before Sadie whispered loudly to Ellie. Something happened. Ellie sighed. Yes. How do you know? Ellie gave her sister a look. Because I have eyes. Later, after Scout was settled, Tyler found himself alone near the barn. Rain dripped from the roof. Night settled quietly across Heartland Ridge. Bootsteps approached behind him. He knew who it was before she spoke. Hiding? Tyler smiled faintly. Thinking. Hannah stepped beside him, close, not touching, but closer than before. That alone said enough. Tyler stared into the darkness. You asked why I joke. Hannah waited. He exhaled. My brother blamed himself. She stayed silent. Good, he needed that. He lost everything. Tyler's jaw tightened. And I couldn't fix it. His voice grew rough. I kept telling him it would work out. Rain tapped softly against metal. It didn't. Hannah's expression softened. Tyler gave a bitter laugh. So I learned something. What? He looked down. Sometimes smiling is easier than admitting you feel helpless. There it was, the truth. The thing behind the charm. The jokes, the easy grin, armor, all of it. Hannah finally understood. He hadn't been shallow. He'd been surviving. Without thinking, Hannah reached for his hand. Tyler froze. Her fingers wrapped gently around his. Warm, steady, intentional. He looked at their hands, then at her. Hannah spoke quietly. You don't always have to carry things alone. The words hit him hard, because nobody had said that to him in a very long time. Maybe ever. Tyler looked at her. Really looked at her. No walls, no teasing, no performance, just truth. Hannah. She didn't pull away. Good sign. Very good sign. Tyler's voice dropped. You're making this very hard. Her brow lifted. What? He smiled, trying not to kiss you. Silence. Then, for the first time in weeks, Hannah Cooper smiled without hesitation. Slow, warm, dangerously beautiful, and then she said the last thing Tyler expected. Who said you had to keep trying? Tyler stopped breathing because he suddenly realized something. The woman who refused to trust him no longer wanted to. Chapter 6. The ride home. For a moment, Tyler simply stared at Hannah. Rain dripped softly from the barn roof. Wind moved through the pasture. Everything else disappeared. Just one thought remained. She meant it. Hannah Cooper, the woman who had shut him down, challenged him, and guarded her heart with iron walls, was standing in front of him, hand in his, telling him not to hold back. Tyler's voice dropped to nearly a whisper. You sure? Hannah looked up at him. For once, there was no hesitation. No guarded expression, no walls, just honesty. Yes. That was all he needed. Tyler lifted his free hand and gently brushed a damp strand of hair from her face. Then he kissed her. Slowly, carefully, like something precious. The kiss wasn't rushed. It wasn't dramatic. It felt earned, warm, steady, real. When they finally pulled apart, neither moved. Tyler smiled first, small, disbelieving. Well, Hannah raised an eyebrow. Well, what? He laughed softly. Midnight was right. She frowned. About what? Tyler grinned. I was trouble. That did it. Hannah laughed. A real laugh. The kind Tyler had spent weeks trying to earn, and hearing it now felt better than he imagined. Much better. A loud gasp shattered the moment. Both froze. Tyler slowly turned. Near the barn door stood Sadie, Ellie, and Bo. All three stared wide-eyed. Complete silence. Sadie screamed, I knew it! Bo jumped. They kissed! Ellie closed her eyes. Oh no! Too late, very too late, because Sadie had already turned and sprinted toward the house. Mama! Hannah closed her eyes. No. Tyler tried not to laugh. Failed. She's fast. She's terrifying. Also true. They reached the main house seconds too late. Everyone already knew. Of course they did. Charlie stood near the kitchen island, smiling like Christmas came early. Wyatt leaned against the counter with folded arms, failing to hide amusement. Caleb sat at the table drinking coffee, looking far too satisfied. Tyler stopped. How? Caleb calmly took another sip. Sadie. Fair. Very fair. Sadie pointed dramatically between them. I told everyone. Ellie sighed. Yes, repeatedly. Bo climbed onto a chair. Are they getting married now? Silence. Tyler nearly choked. Charlie laughed. Hannah looked horrified. Wyatt rubbed his chin thoughtfully. Bit early, Bo. Bo considered that. Okay. Then he pointed at Tyler. But he better stay. The room quieted. The innocence of the statement landed deeper than anyone expected. Tyler looked at Bo, then at Wyatt, then Charlie, then the ranch. This place, these people, this family. Something settled in his chest, a feeling he hadn't allowed himself in a long time. Belonging, real belonging. Later that night, after the kids were asleep and the house quieted, Tyler stood on the porch beside Wyatt. The stars stretched endlessly over Heartland Ridge. Neither spoke for a while. Then Wyatt finally broke the silence. You care about her? Not a question. Tyler nodded. Yes, sir. Wyatt stared out over the ranch. Good. Tyler blinked. That's it? Wyatt smiled faintly. What were you expecting? Tyler shrugged. A warning? That earned a small laugh. Wyatt folded his arms. Son, I've watched how you work. He nodded toward the barns. You show up. Toward the house. You care about people. Then toward Hannah. You earned her trust. Wyatt looked directly at him. That means something here. Tyler swallowed, because those words mattered, coming from Wyatt Ridge. They mattered a lot. The next morning, sunrise painted Heartland Ridge gold. Tyler walked toward the corrals. Hannah waited there, midnight beside her. She smiled as he approached. Morning. Tyler smiled back. Morning. Midnight snorted. Tyler looked at the stallion. You still don't like me? Hannah smirked. He tolerates you. Tyler placed a hand over his heart. That's hurtful. She laughed again. That laugh. He could get used to that. Very easily. Tyler stepped closer. So, Hannah tilted her head. So? He grinned. Horse still have good instincts? For half a second, Hannah just looked at him. Then a slow smile spread across her face. She stepped close enough that only he could hear her. Yes. She reached up, lightly touched his jaw, and whispered, He was right about you. Tyler's heart kicked hard. About what? Hannah smiled. That you were trouble. A pause. Then, the best kind. Tyler laughed, and as the morning sun rose over Heartland Ridge Ranch, one thing became clear. Sometimes the people hardest to reach were worth every step. The end. Thank you for visiting Heartland Ridge Ranch. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to Snowfall and Second Chances for more Western romance, unforgettable characters, and heartwarming stories from Heartland Ridge Ranch, where family legacy, Western romance, and second chances ride together.